We have, as we indicated in earlier press conferences, we have had several contacts and meetings with different officials from Benghazi, and indeed one of them was Abdel Fattah Yunus, but he is not unique in this. We also met with other representatives and other officials. I did give a list of officials to some of you before. We met in Cairo, in Rome, in Oslo, and there was one in Morocco as well, and in Tunisia. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. We do not feel as a government the need to defend ourselves, because we know that at this very moment, the people of Benghazi, the tribe of General Abdel Fattah and his family, and everyone there knows who killed Abdel Fattah. They all know it's Fawzi Bukatif and Ismail al-Salabi. They know that, all of them. So we are so relaxed, we don't have the feeling to defend ourselves. Mr. Mustafa Abdel Jalil himself admitted that they arrested Abdel Fattah Yunus, and they charged him, and that while he was taken to court, he was killed under their own protection. What we are saying is, Al-Qaeda believed that if he went to court, this will be a very long procedure, and his tribe will save him and release him. So they killed him to finish the whole matter quickly and to send a mafia-like message to the others that no one is safe from us. You cannot deal with the West or with the Libyan government without us. Any other questions? I would like you to encourage your colleagues in the East, if you have colleagues in the East, to go down to the real people of Benghazi and interview them. I would like to encourage you, to encourage your colleagues there to report on the crimes that the rebels commit every day. They take money from people by force to fund their operations. They rob shops, they rob cars, some of them even rape girls on a daily basis. Life in Benghazi is extremely hard for many. Decent and professional journalists need to do their job and expose this, not for the good of the Libyan government, for the good of the people of Benghazi. This is also a reality. Basically, tribes there felt very afraid for themselves because of the chaos that took place after the killing of Abdel Fattah. And every tribe gathered its kids with weapons. Their first priority was to free their prisoners. So each tribe went to the prisons and the camps in Benghazi and freed its own prisoners. And after that, we know that fighting took place for the whole evening, for the whole night, and we know for sure that dozens of people were killed and dozens were injured. And the situation is still very fragile in Benghazi. We also know that some tribal leaders are trying to solve the problem socially and move forward. But we say that this is an opportunity for the world to actually understand what is happening in Benghazi. This is not a civil council trying to establish a democratic, peaceful society. This is Al-Qaeda having a face that looks modern and civil. But the reality is that the liberals, such as Mahmoud Shammam, Mahmoud Jibril, and the other liberals, they do not have any real power. They sit down, they face the media, they talk, they go and meet Sarkozy, they meet Cameron, but the real fact is the power is with Al-Qaeda. They are the trained one, they are the energetic ones, they are the ones with connections to Chad, Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, everywhere, and they are the ones, and this is very dangerous, prepared to die. And when you are prepared to die, you become very powerful. Indeed, very powerful. The others are not prepared to die. The others have their palaces and flats and houses and property in Europe. whenever something happens, they just run away. Al-Qaeda, they have their palaces and property only in heaven. They are prepared to die. This is their power. We warn, do not keep going saying it's a card played by the Libyan government. This is the reality of things. Europe is under the danger, the real threat of Al-Qaeda from North Africa. We also have information about contacts that took place between Al-Qaeda leaders, namely As-Salabi and Bukatif, with Al-Qaeda leaders in Algeria, namely Abu Mus'ab Abdul Wadud. I have the names with me, but we actually listened to phone calls between them, and we know they are coordinating their work, especially through the Western Mountain, as they, of course, they are very close there to Algeria, the Algerian border. We thank the Algerian government and the Algerian army for the excellent work they are doing in trying to prevent this connection. But we know that things are happening through the Tunisian border, through the Chadian border, and the Niger border, and the Sudan border as well. Unfortunately, Al-Qaeda also has presence in Egypt, a very hidden presence, clothed in the Muslim Brotherhood robe, but they are supporting Al-Qaeda work in the Green Mountain of Libya. And another thing, actually, for you, maybe many of you do not know what the Green Mountain is. The Green Mountain can easily become the Tora Bora of North Africa. It's a very, very hard terrain, extremely difficult to conquer, and if Al-Qaeda is established there, you will need 100 years to uproot it. We know this because we Libyans fought against the Italians from 1911 to 1931 with almost no weapons, while the Italians were a modern, powerful army, and we were able to defeat them for 20 years because our resistance was based in the Green Mountain. It's full of caves, it's full of hard terrain, and if Al-Qaeda is established there, it's basically heaven for them. They know how to fight mountain fights, they know how to attack and withdraw, they are very intelligent, very well trained, and this will be the nightmare of the West. Even if the West invades the Green Mountain, you will not be able to defeat them. So I tell you, it's either now the West takes action against Al-Qaeda, or it's too late for them. And then the capitals of Europe, which are very near us here in Libya, will be under the real threat of Al-Qaeda. And instead of ships and boats, of illegal immigrants, poor, powerless, peaceful black Africans, you'll have the same boats, but with Al-Qaeda members on them. Remember, with all of the European security forces, they cannot stop hundreds upon hundreds of peaceful, naive, desperate African workers go from Libya to Italy, Malta, Sicily, and other places. So how are you going to stop boats of highly trained, very brave, very intelligent Al-Qaeda fighters from doing the same thing peaceful, powerless African workers do? It's very dangerous, and we warn the world that we worked very well and very hard against Al-Qaeda presence in Libya for decades, for at least 30 years, against the existence of Islamic extremism. And now this is their chance. We believe that this will cause a major... He comes from a powerful tribe, Al-Abidata tribe, and he's killing in this way, and the burning of his body, this will cause bitterness and hatred, and will make any level of trust established so far destroyed between the different factions of the Transition Council of Benghazi. We believe that it will be very hard for them to gather any volunteers. Abdel Fattah was a major factor in gathering volunteers from the tribes. We believe Al-Qaeda now will have to fight alone for a while, We also believe that the other so-called liberals of the opposition will rethink their ways, and they will now understand the danger of Al-Qaeda, because before, up to yesterday, they thought they could work with Al-Qaeda and then kick it away when the final settlement comes. But they now understand that Al-Qaeda is not naive, and that they will have to deal with Al-Qaeda now, not later. They have to deal with Al-Qaeda now. So we believe that this will weaken their military power, they will weaken their political front, and this will force them to rethink their whole strategies of war and politics. We are hoping, of course, that this will help many people from the East to wake up to the reality of things and come back to the legitimacy, security and safety of the national government of Libya. We are the real government, we are powerful, we are strong. The rebels are so weak, they can only make any gain, any simple gain, only under heavy bombardments from NATO. Once NATO stops, they are defeated immediately. The people are on our side, the tribes are on our side, the cities are on our side. We are stronger now than we were 4 months ago. Ramadan is in 2 days' time. It's very bad to fight against Muslims in Ramadan. If you don't know, read about our culture. We are a fighting culture. Ramadan only makes us stronger spiritually, high morale. So the next 30 days are not good for NATO. They will be very good for us.